Good day, and welcome to Boone in the Woods and in the Home, a weekly program that will focus on all things hunting and in the home, but not just in the physical, in the spiritual as well. We'll discuss things about hunting and how to upcycle and repurpose your home to make beautiful curated homes while we integrate our faith and scriptures to inspire and encourage you.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel, and this is my wife, Lisa, and together we're the owner and operators of Boone in the Woods, a hunting farm property management business in Western Kentucky, where we focus on food plots, general maintenance of our clients' hunting properties. We also specialize in food plot mixes, mineral mixes, which can also be found on boonepodcast.com.
We're also the owners and operators of Lisa Boone Designs. I am a retailer of quality artisan products that help you upcycle thrifted items or things that you may already have in your home. I also teach lots of tutorials on my social media platform, so be sure to follow all of the links. You can find my online shop and my platforms on boonepodcast.com. Last month, we talked about love and faith in business, and we had some special guests. And so this month, we're going to be talking about rejuvenation and growth. Imagine this. Spring is in the air. At least it feels that way here in Kentucky, although the weather is turning. The air's buzzing with life, flowers are popping up left and right, and the whole world's getting a fresh coat of paint. It's like nature hit the reset button, giving everything a new lease on life. Or at least it's coming soon, right? And you know what? Businesses can totally take a page from the Father's playbook, but not just business. Our entire life, every aspect of who we are can benefit from it. Just like how spring breathes new life into this world, it's a reminder that we can shake off the old and embrace the new. So let's dive into the spring energy together and see how we can make some sparks happen in our businesses, our careers, our personal and spiritual lives. So we had some special guests last month, and I was really encouraged and impressed by them, but I knew that I would be because I know them personally. What was your takeaway from all three of our guests?
Again, we know them personally, so therefore, with Krista, you're closer to her, you know her. And I always thought she was a sweet lady, and she is doing a wonderful job here in Madisonville with the business that she's got started up and going. Mm-hmm. Isaac is a young man that is on his way. He's doing well. He's got a passion for the outdoors. He's got a passion for soil and to rejuvenate it naturally. At the same time, also Scott, and Scott's been working on his process for a long time, and, a lot of knowledge there. And I'm fortunate to have spent, 5.5 years under him, his supervision and his teaching, and being able to learn from him so that I can better do my job in soil conservation.
Right. I tell you what, the three of them have common denominator, or maybe a couple of common denominators. First of all, they are believers. So that is, that's one of the reasons why we had them on, to share their faith and how they utilize that in their business. The other thing is they are people. They believe in, I'm going to say networking, but I'm going to talk about that here in a second. They're great leaders. They're strong leaders. And they may not see themselves that way, especially Isaac and maybe Krista. But Chris has been a teacher for a long time, so she is a leader. Isaac is an up-and-coming leader, but when you're a believer, you are a leader, and we teach that all the time. But they're also very kind and courteous, and they want to serve, all of them. And they bring people to the table that also want to serve, and I love that. So if you didn't listen to the podcasts, please go on boonepodcast.com and check out episodes
17, 18, and 19, I believe.
Yeah. It's just so encouraging. But one of the things that we talk about all the time is iron sharpens iron, and building strong relationships, supporting the community. It's because it's vital not only in your business, but also in your personal life. And as a believer, it's vital. And I've been thinking a lot about this last couple of months because I was in the business world for so long, and that word networking is so prominent. And I picture all of these social gatherings. Everyone has their business cards and they're passing it out. And it's kind of cold and everyone's out for themselves and they're trying to figure out how they can level up by, talking to different people and just basically making more money. It's a bad connotation in my head, but it's really not. And I found myself that here lately I've been using the word collaboration and I wasn't really linking the two together until recently. And I realized, collaborations is networking.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's vital to collaborate with other people and bring them in and, glean from each other, help one another.
Mm-hmm.
To me, collaboration is more of a mutually beneficial relationship. How do you see it?
Well, just like Krista and yourself, you guys both basically you sell some of the same stuff, home decor.
We sell the same kind of product, yeah.
So therefore, y'all can help one another, bounce back and forth toward one another. At the same time, business wise, Scott's in the soil business to rejuvenate. He's selling soil food. I, in the same way, am tending this soil and taking care of the soil, and I use some of his products. I make some of my own products as well, and that'll be coming out later on. And then, then we've got Isaac. He's he's a soil scientist. So it all, we can all kind of bounce off of one another and help one another, when we need a hand up.
Right. I was thinking the other thing that they have in common, the common denominator, and it is that way for every person. Everyone has a different story. They founded their businesses or where they're at currently because they had to pivot. And I feel like spring is that renewal process. And sometimes in our businesses or our personal life or our spiritual life, we have to reassess, and something may happen to us that causes us to do something different. And then we find ourselves where we currently are. And I was thinking about this for a couple of days as we were preparing for this podcast. And then last night, I just randomly was trying to unwind, waiting for you to get home. And I turned on the Magnolia Network and I didn't really know what I had selected, but I just needed something on the TV. And it was called The Lost Kitchen. And I was almost in tears, honestly, because she was talking about her testimony, her lifespan, and how she kept having to pivot from failures, from unexpected things that happened in her life. And right now, she has a very successful business, and the business model is so unique. And I think about our own town here in Madisonville. It's a small town. One of the things that Krista had said in our interview is that she is making a destination place. And I've always felt like, we could be a destination place. We travel, we go to other towns, and we go to lots of shops. And we always comment, the restaurants, the shops, like how people are, walking and enjoying themselves and visiting the stores. And the towns are thriving because of the local businesses. And we need that here. We need that here in Madisonville. Maybe you need that where you're watching from. We have a place called Patty's, and she said, we're not Patty's, but Patty's is a destination place. It's an amazing little restaurant that's also filled with lots of shops that are really unique, and people go there from all over. Well, that's what happened with this place called The Lost Kitchen. If you guys haven't watched that show, I highly suggest it. They're in the middle of nowhere. They only have a general store and a post office. And people are coming around the world to eat at this place and having to wait years to be able to do so.
I thought that was pretty neat that the only way that they could get a reservation is by mail.
That's right.
And then the owner picks and chooses who gets the reservations versus, just calling in and getting a reservation, anybody and everybody. So that was kind of crazy, but I like it. It's unique.
That. Yeah. You can't call, you can't reserve online. There's no reserve a table website or app.
The other thing I thought was kind of cool was the fact that you don't pick a meal.
Yeah.
You
You don't know what you're eating.
she fixes the meal, and you eat whatever she fixes, and it's more of a farm to table kind of meal. And so I thought that was pretty cool. There's several places in Madisonville that could be that. There's several different little stores, but
There are,
they
but we need
just don't have the word out there to get it.
right. Yeah, but the thing is, that's why I think it's so important to work together. Like that's why we need each other. That's why we have to collaborate and help one another out. How else our business is going to thrive? We're not our own little world, And there's no reason why that things can't increase and be better and
For
bless,
everybody.
yeah, and bless other people. Like in that episode when we watched The Lost Kitchen, people were blown away because she talked about, and I hinted this with when I was talking with Krista, it's not about the product. It's about the feels. It's about that experience. And that's what she said. It's not about the food. I want to have people have memories and have people come together and enjoy one another, spend time together, and how she can elevate. Then the next couple of episodes, this is an old show, so they were in 2020, and everybody knows what happened in 2020 and how that hurt small businesses. And I think it's still hurting small
Talking about when the
businesses.
government tried to shut us down.
Yeah, shall not talk about that because we have lots of opinions about that. But we we won't touch on that. But how she started brainstorming and coming up with an idea, because it wasn't about her getting rich. It was about her serving people and helping the local farms and getting the products, the food out there from the local farms so that together they could thrive. I was just so impressed by that. And it's what we talk about, but I saw it in action and it just blew me away. So, what can you do to help your community? We've talked about that community, local community, and then the community that you live in, your local community, meaning the people that you are with, that you do life with. We talk about this all the time. Iron sharpens iron.
So maybe you hook up with other stores through the city. Maybe people, we do have a farmers market. There's all kinds of different ways to network.
Yes, collaborate. I really like the word collaborate versus networking. I just feel
Same
like
difference.
it is. But I think when you think about it differently when you say collaborate, because you're two parties or more are coming together to do something. Where a network, I feel like there's somebody that wrote a book that just he would talk about make your network. And it's such a turnoff to me because it's about what I can get versus what I
Right.
can give and how I can help
And that's
others.
kind of the way I feel as far as sometimes when we've discussed collaborating with other people, it's I don't want to be seen as, well, he's trying to take advantage of the situation or of the friendship or
No.
whatever the case may be. But it's definitely something that is important that would build up not just your business, but would build up a community.
That's right. And I think that's what I'm to my core. I know that I was made to encourage people, to build relationships. But sometimes it's hard. And I find myself not doing what I'm called to do because maybe you get discouraged by people. And these are the things that I've been thinking about. And I'm like, I have to go back to the first thing. My first love is my Father in heaven, and I have to go back to what He's called me to do,
Mm-hmm.
and that is to encourage, to love people, to help people, to serve people, to empower women.
Mm-hmm.
That is my call, to help women, and that's why I love doing my creative business, because I'm able to encourage people, to teach them how to do things, it brings me joy when I see them have joy and light up over what they're doing. So it's just a bigger picture. It's not just about painting furniture and selling paint. It's about really making an impact in someone's life. And I think you're the same way with your business.
The scope of my business, of course, in the beginning was just helping a friend out.
Right.
I mean, the way that I got started was just helping a friend out. It was just, going by and checking on a farm.
Right.
One thing led to another, and hey, do you care to fill feeders? But the thing is, with me, and I tell my clients this, they start out as clients, but before it's over with, then they become family.
Mm-hmm.
So then, when they become family, how can I make an impression upon their life?
Right.
So the only way that I can, of course, everybody is in love with the deer hunting, with the turkey hunting. So I can make an impression by making their farms better.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, I make an impression by the way that I live my life.
Right. Because that's ultimately
That's
the best thing.
That's
ultimately
that's the call on everybody's life.
right. As your business grows, it's growing because they're inviting more friends, because they're proud of their farms. They're proud of what they have here. So they invite friends to come. And then their friends are like, I love what's going on here. But you're the common denominator in all of that too. Like it's the fruit of your labor, because their farms are doing so well, and then your business is growing because you do it with excellence, and you do it unto the Father, and you're praying as you're doing it. And I feel like that's what we need to get back to, like back to square one, renewal,
Of course.
building our businesses, building our families, building our spiritual life, our personal life, and reassessing. We talked about this as we were leaning towards that end of the year. Don't wait till the end of the year to analyze, am I on track? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Do it as you go along, and so that you could do small course corrections. And how can I bless people? How can I do better? What do I need to do? What steps do I need to take, versus waiting to the end of the year?
In that respect, it could be a monthly evaluation.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm doing.
And it's not just on the business side, but
Mhm.
I look at it more so. Sometimes we have to do a reset spiritually,
Right.
and
that's
we
what
have
we're talking
to.
about. Yeah.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that I'm just sometimes you have to stop, because you do get busy, you get wrapped up in work, you get wrapped up in life, and sometimes you just got to stop, drop, and
Yeah.
roll.
Yes. It's so funny because I have someone that I just recently reached out to, because I am about empowering and building relationships. And sometimes I get so busy that I don't think, oh, I think about it, but I don't do it. I don't put it into action. I think, oh, I wonder how this person's doing. And then I don't take the step. And so a few years ago, I made this change in my life. Like, if I see a beautiful woman, or I see some beautiful kid, or whatever, I see someone that's put together, they smell good, I tell them instead of holding it in, because it blesses people. I have told random people in the bathroom, oh my gosh, you are so beautiful. Like, I love that outfit. I love, and I do that, and I see their expressions. I found myself the other day thinking about somebody that has made an impression on me that I helped. I was helping her with some podcasting a couple years ago. And every now and then she calls on me and checks on me because of I've impressed her, because of how I do things and how I'm honest, and and she loved the work that I did. And so she always reaches out to me. And I was thinking about her all week, because I was thinking about this whole thing with networking and collaboration. And she is like the queen of it. It comes naturally. She oozes that. She connects people. She puts them together. And that's how she was doing this podcast that I was helping her with. And I admire her for that, because everyone doesn't think that way. And so I made myself send her an email and just, hey, I'm just, just seeing how you're doing. How often do we not do that, and we just let relationships die because we don't reach out? I hate
Stay in
being on the
contact.
phone, so I don't call people. And sometimes my thumb hurts and my wrist hurts and I don't want to text.
She don't even want to talk to me on the phone.
It's just because you get so tired. But how important is it to reach out and just say, hey, I'm thinking about you?
It's kind of like God resets our earth every year. And you kind of mentioned it earlier, but you didn't really talk about it. But that's the whole point of going through winter is to reset, basically, everything, the trees and the bushes die, the flowers die.
But they're not really dead.
They're not dead. They're asleep.
Yeah.
I guess for
maybe
better.
Some flowers, they only have
maybe
one
some,
cycle,
But regardless, it's a reset. So come spring, and everybody's itching right now because the weather has been good, but we're still in that point where it's back and forth
in Kentucky.
Yeah. But we're just about there, and we are already seeing the flowers perk up. I'm out in the food plots already, and I'm seeing sprouts starting to come up from the warm temperatures. And God is bringing the earth back to life.
Right.
And that's we go through a dead spell,
yes.
and sometimes we go through a dead spell in our Christian walk.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just coasting. It might not be dead, but we're just kind of complacent, coasting.
Complacent. That's a good word, and we're just kind of lagging behind, like you just said. And sometimes we go through that. We go through those dry spells. We go through the desert.
Yeah.
And, we have to reset.
Right. I think it's so important. And that's what I was thinking. Spring is in the air. It's the time for rejuvenation and regrowth. And how can we take those concepts and apply them personally in our life, every aspect of our life? So we need to do an internal audit. Let's start with an honest internal audit of our operations, of how we do business, of how we live our lives, of how we're representing the Father, of how we're doing business in our home, taking care of our kids. Do an internal audit.
I would start off spiritually. And, if you're not spending quality time with the Lord each and every day, then you need to get in the Word. You need to get on your knee, per se, and have a little communication with the good Lord above.
Carving out quality time. It doesn't have to be an hour.
No.
But get up early in the morning. There was a young lady that came to the store and she was asking me all kinds of questions. And I'm like, the Bible says seek him first. Because she's like, I pray every single night. I don't go to bed without praying. I'm like, but what about the morning? Because she deals with a lot of anxiety and unsure, like, am I really saved? Am I really saved? And she questions herself. And I'm like, that's great that you question yourself, because 2 Corinthians 13 says, test yourself to make sure that you're in the faith. So that's great. But seek him first, because that's what it says in the Bible, Matthew 6:33. Seek him first. So that means the very first thing of every day, the very first time you do something new, every first.
That's what I'm going to say. Every first, as far as, put him first before you put your job first. Put him first before you put your wife first.
Yes.
Yeah,
so absolutely.
Always him first.
And that's what she was asking me. She's like, I find myself on, TikTok or different things all the time. Okay, well, if you're putting your phone above him, then that's an idol. That it's an idol, because she even admitted like she was addicted. So like, what are you doing to grow in him? You have to do something different. You have to lay down everything else and put him first.
That goes back to, Satan being the prince of the air.
Right.
So it's easy, and he puts things in our way that we like or that will sidetrack us. So it's really easy to pick up and start flipping through videos.
Yeah.
And whether it's TikTok, whether it's
whatever,
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anything like that, but that's the truth. He wants to stumble.
Distract.
He wants to distract and cause a stumbling block in front of us,
Yeah.
So the second thing I was thinking here, and I may be totally off of what you was wanting to talk about, but the second thing that I'm sitting here thinking about is the fact of, what about your marriage? Do we need to reset it? How do we reset our marriage? My wife likes to go on dates every Friday night.
Yes, sir.
And so, and it's good for us, In all honesty, these podcasts are good for us.
Yes.
Because it's quality time together.
Yeah.
And it's, even though we're talking to you, we're still talking to one another.
Right.
And sometimes, maybe we may jot down a few notes, and then sometimes it's just off the cuff,
Right.
But still,
but we talk about it during the week, and
Oh,
we're
yeah,
talking,
yeah.
and then of course we're here together, and we used to do dates all the time, and then we got busy, and I felt like we had to make it a priority, and at this time Fridays are sacred. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. I don't care who has what they're doing. I don't care. Friday is I'm out of here at 4:00, and I'm going home to pick him up. He's already showering, he's getting ready, and we're out the door. Why? Because we live in the middle of nowhere and everything closes early. And so we don't have all night long. But I think about it and I get excited because I'm spending time with you. And I don't care if we're going to Sam's, going to Kohl's,
Rural King,
whatever it is, but it's our date night. And, we usually go out of town and spend time together. And it's sacred, and it reconnects us. I encourage that. If you're not doing that, do it. I am going to put together a few things that I discovered to help you, and that's going to be posted on a blog. So check out the information in the description, in the show notes. If you're listening to this on 103.5 Monday at 4 p.m., please go to boonepodcast.com, and I'm going to start giving extra things occasionally. My goal is to get it every week, have a blog for each podcast with more information, maybe some links, just some different insights, maybe things that we couldn't cover because this is just a 30-minute episode. And so look out for that information. The other thing is we're going to have a lot more guests, so we're excited about that. We're going to hear from different people so we can get different perspectives so that we can help them push their agendas and initiatives, and we can also learn from them. And, that mutually beneficial relationship is what makes us all grow and all better. Collaboration.
So faith isn't just a safety net for tough times. It's like a springboard for our wildest ideas. So think of it as that friend who says, go for it. You've got this, pushing you to innovate and stay strong no matter what. So have you ever read that verse that made you feel like you could take on the world? Verses that talk about being strong, adaptable, visionary, that can really lead or can really light a fire under you. So faith teaches us to see the silver lining. Even when the cloud seems super stubborn, it's finding out the inner strength and the vision to keep moving forward and innovating and bouncing back stronger.
Yeah. That last part really resonated because it reminds me of that story of that show, The Lost Kitchen. So definitely look at that show and see if maybe it could spur you on and inspire you. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have prayer requests or praise reports, we want to hear from you. Go ahead and visit boonepodcast.com. If you have your own experience of renewal in your business, in your marriage, in your life, we want to hear from you. Please send us a comment on our page on boonepodcast.com. Under Contact Us, there is a form, and you can type out your message to us. We would love to hear from you. Again, that's boonepodcast.com. So now we want to leave you with this. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life.
So we want to encourage you to seek him first, pray about everything, test the spirits, and examine yourself to make sure that you are in the faith. Are you in the faith? If you're not sure what that means, or if you don't know what it means to be saved, then listen up. Does that mean that you will never sin again? No. We are all sinners, but he is quick to forgive, and he teaches us all things. He leads us along the narrow path into righteousness, and that just means that in right standing with him.
Thank you for joining us. We pray that this episode was a blessing to you, and we look forward to hearing from you. You can contact us on boonepodcast.com. If you asked him to be saved, or if you have a prayer or prayer request, we would love to hear from you. And you can contact us. Again, the website is boonepodcast.com.
Be sure to tune in every Monday for a weekly program, Boone in the Woods and in the Home with Nathaniel and Lisa Boone. Please follow our social media pages so that you can be reminded to tune in and also stay connected to us and our businesses.
We hope that you have an incredibly blessed day.
Good day.
Ciao.